How about you, Doug?
Yeah, go ahead there.
Hey man, it's been great getting to know you at the different shows. Met you there at GBATS last year. Saw you over there at Matt's earlier this year, and we're just now finishing up Wildwood. So it's great to get you out here on the road and see what that old Peterbilt got under the hood there, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's of course we built a new one this year from what you saw us with at GBATS last year, and we got us a 2015 Peterbilt, 600 horse Cummins, 18 speed with a 4-speed auxiliary behind it, 370 rears. So I think she'll be able to get the job done when we need her to.
She looks stout enough. I think she'll get it done.
Yeah. We had to set her up heavy, 22,000 pound front end, so we could get that old heavy haul in. You know, we move a lot of heavy stuff, so she's rated for 260 gross out of the factory there.
Yeah, that'll get it done. Well, hey, Doug, you had to slip into that old scale house there, and it looks like we done picked up 2 more trucks coming from the show there, right?
It looks like it's got this big old large car show going down the boulevard here.
That's fine with me. Who we got back there?
We got Brian right here behind him. I'm having to deal with a 4-wheeler at the moment, but we're doing good.
And who's that behind you there, Brian?
Got old Jeremy, he's back there in the back. He stays on, he's busy, so that's Jeremy back there coming up in the tail end.
Well, going back to you there, Doug, how'd you do there at the show? How'd folks enjoy the truck there, and did you take home any goodies?
Yeah, this year down here at Wildwood, we were able to pull out first place in the lights category and pulled out second place there in the limited mileage combo there.
That's not a bad deal.
Not a bad start for a year. I think we come out pretty proud.
That's good. Come on up there, Brian.
All right. Takes a minute. You don't see much smoke coming out of these new trucks.
That's all right. She sure is pretty, though.
Thank you. We try. It was a good show in Wildwood this year.
What you working with right there?
The truck is a 2013 W900L, and the trailer, we just got the trailer. It's a 2016 Great Dane stainless dry van trailer. We normally do flatbed loads. We do some specialized hauling. We have some low boys and drop decks and, RGNs, but for the most part, we're a flatbed company.
So, Jeremy, tell me about that truck there you're running.
2015 T600. Kenworth.
Roll down up here.
Yeah, we got some road down. We're gonna step over just a little bit, Chris. We're gonna crowd you, but we'll be okay.
No problem.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I got sides right there. 2015 T660 Kenworth.
And what you got underneath that hood there?
Got a 500 pack car.
10-4. And Brian, you said you guys are mostly a flatbed company. What are some of the things y'all are carrying most of the time there?
We got a big contract with a company there not too far from us there in Canton, Georgia. We're out of Cartersville. And they extrude aluminum for Boeing aircraft. And that's our main gig. We do a lot for them. It's all extruded aluminum out to California and Washington. With our step decks, we haul for a pump company, a water pump company. And we got a 13-axle trailer also that does a lot for that water company. And we haul construction equipment, but our biggest gig is that flatbed with the extruded aluminum.
Now, how long you been trucking for?
Well, I've been driving since I was 18. I got my CDLs right at 18 there in Georgia. That's where we're from. You couldn't leave the state until you was 21, but I got my CDLs at 18. I worked for a local dump trailer company pulling dump trailers, aggregates and asphalt and stuff like that, but then quit doing that. I bought into a bunch of my own trucks, doing sand, dump trailers, flatbeds, and lowboys. But and now with Taylor, I get to do a little bit of everything with them because we're so widespread. But I will be 34 this year, so I guess that would be 18, 28. That's 10, 4, 6. Was that 16 years?
Well, when you guys get back up there to Georgia, what's on the deck for you?
Well, unfortunately, I guess we'll all have to go back to work. Jeremy, he's one of our big dispatchers, so he stays busy in the shop. Matter of fact, he's had to take a break here and there from the truck show just because of his phone going off. He keeps busy. I drive a lot. I also work in our shop. I do some of our welding and fabricating, so I kind of get a different scenario each day of the week. I do all our wrecker stuff. We bought our own wrecker to do our own breakdowns, so each day of the week is a new adventure for me.
What's your take on the move over law?
It's a very dangerous job. Matter of fact, we had a driver that was with us for a little bit. One of his friends works for a local wrecker company there in town, and he actually was working between his wrecker and the broke down car, and somebody rear-ended that car, and he ended up losing a leg. So for that industry, it's very dangerous. You know, we try everything we can, all the strobe lights, all the reflector uniforms, and try to get off the edge of the road. But unfortunately, there's only so much you can do. The breakdowns that we deal with, for the most part, they're usually not on the side of the interstate. They've usually ended up making it to a parking lot or some sort of truck stop or rest area. So wrecker drivers, I mean, they've got it hard. You're constantly watching what you're doing to keep from getting hurt on just your normal job. Plus, you got to look out for everybody else. It's a dangerous job for sure. You got to give a lot of respect to those, and a lot of your normal four-wheelers and cars and stuff, they just don't seem to pay attention anymore like they used to be. So it's getting harder and harder for them, I believe. Just to let you know, Chris, and you've probably been told this before, but what you do for this industry means a lot, because there's so many people nowadays that YouTube and look at the internet and different videos and stuff like that, and it's great that you try to familiarize the general public with what trucking people do, because not a lot of folks know anymore. So we greatly appreciate what you do for us.
You're absolutely welcome. It's like a lot of times people won't poke their head in the door to check something out. Sometimes you got to shove them in the door for them to take a closer look at something, or do it by way of another venue, another format. So I'm glad this format has become something that people enjoy, and before you know it, they've done learned something.
Yeah, the feedback off of the video you shot at G-Bats last year when we hauled that big piece of equipment in there has just been ridiculous, the amount of feedback we've got off it. So you're reaching people for sure.
For me, it was nothing but fun. Working with you guys, getting it done, and looking good doing it.
Well, definitely been a pleasure. You Taylor boys have a fun ride home. Be careful. We'll see you around here eventually sometime.
Yes, sir. We greatly appreciate everything you've done. Chris, we appreciate the same thing. We'll see you at the next show. It's been fun.
Yes, sir. We'll see you soon, Jeremy. We'll see you soon also, well, man.
All right, y'all too, man. Thank y'all.
Well, hey, Doug, tell me about how you got into trucking and everything, especially how'd you find yourself into the heavy haul industry?
Well, I've been in around trucks most of my life, some shape or form, with family, uncles, grandpa, whatever, milk trucks and grain hauling and everything else. And I've been driving them myself for a living for about 28 years now, so I've been real steady in them. I pulled reefer for probably 15 years, back and forth, west coast to east coast a lot, up into upstate New York and Pennsylvania. Did that, kind of got tired of that, decided to take a break. I went home and started pulling a rock bucket. Did that for a while. Things took a change, and then got on there with Jane L hauling their oversized heavy stuff. And a friend of mine called. They were looking for somebody to run their oversized trailer, and so I got interested, got in with them, and started working on it. It's real enjoyable. It's a challenge. It's something that challenges you every day because you do something different. You got to think about what you're doing. We pull everything up to nine axle trailers, so you got a lot of thinking you got to put into it, and it's fun because it's a challenge to try to figure out every load every day.
Now, what are some of the average things? Well, there probably is no average, but what are some of the things that you find yourself hauling?
90% of what we haul is construction or mining related. So we haul a lot of excavators, dozers. We haul a lot of crushers out of the ports and for different companies here and there. My biggest one so far, pulled one out of the port here a while back down here in Georgia. We're about 248,000 with it. So that's been one of my bigger loads up till now.
10-4. With what you're doing currently, and even with the history and experience that you've had in the past, what are some of the things that you run up against? And if you could relay that to some motorists, what are some of the things that you'd want them to know about?
I think what I see on my part, especially with us hauling oversized, is the lack of respect to the size of the machinery and the flashing lights and the orange flags and the yellow signs. Seems like your motorists today really don't give a damn, and they're not giving you the wide berth that you need or the room that you need. You see a lot of people are on those phones texting and YouTubing and all that crap, and we got enough on our plate trying to watch the load, make sure we don't have a car run underneath us, and then, it's kind of aggravating. People really need to set up and pay more attention. Get off the phone, quit playing with the stereo, quit putting makeup on, and pay attention to your surroundings, because I've seen way too much happen out here for stupid reasons.
Yeah, I hear you, and I agree with that. I'm sure a lot of other folks would agree with that as well. And another question I want to ask you about, there's a law in the state of Florida that has to do with moving over, and especially for people that are on the side of the road that are working, towmen, which would be tow truck drivers, and also state troopers. What's your take on that, and what have you seen other motorists do in that case, in that event when somebody's on the side of the road working?
Once again, there's just a lack of respect, for somebody else's safety. I have personally been sitting in a highway patrolman's car for an unsaid reason, as somebody went flying by us at 80 mile an hour, and his words were to me, "Get the hell out of my car and get down the road, I gotta go." Kicked me out of the car, dropped the ticket, and went and pulled them over, and they were actually had the guy out of the car putting handcuffs on him when I went back by him on the road later on. So I can understand that 100%. We get in a position occasionally where we have to load or unload equipment on the road. People will buzz right up against you while you're walking around and moving around there. So it's a dangerous thing. And my hat's off to all the tow truck drivers, highway patrol, and EMS people, firemen, everybody that's got to stand out here on these roads with these people that aren't paying attention. And I think anybody that gets a ticket for not paying attention deserves it. Personally, think they should increase the fines and make people sit up and notice that they're not going to put up and tolerate it, because there's no need for all these people that are getting hurt and killed because somebody drives into somebody that sits still on the road.
I definitely agree. Last year, unfortunately, there was a trooper on the side of the road that was, going through a routine, accident type of activity, and somebody came through and, wiped her out and wiped out a towman, and it left scars on the community that they belong to. And this trooper happened to be a mother, with kids at home, with young kids at home, and that's just something, if you're a human and you witness that or you learn about that, and if that doesn't touch you or affect you at some point in time, then you really need to kind of readjust your mindset on some things, because sure, they might be out there writing tickets and whatnot, but they got to go home to family, and family's expecting them back.
If those same people that keep driving close all the time, the first time they break down, they're sitting on the side of the road and somebody comes by them, then they're immediately on the other side of the table. Wow, they're too close, they need to get away. Well, doing what you're doing, maybe it'll educate some people, and maybe one day everybody will kind of get the message.
Yeah, it'd be a good thing.
I'd like to take a minute, give you a big pat on the back and a thank you for what you do for all the truck drivers in the industry out here. We've needed somebody to do what you do for a long time, and you're doing some very, very nice work, and we do appreciate it more than I think you understand.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. As I say, thanks for the flowers, man. I appreciate that. You know, sometimes you get so wrapped up in doing what you do, you don't take a minute to think about that because you're out there just trying to get it done and putting the best out there. So I thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, anytime. There need a few more people like you around. You're doing a hell of a job.
10-4. I'm going to ask you what you got on your plate when you get back up there to Missouri.
When we get back home up there in Missouri, we got to get back to hauling some equipment. We've had our time off down here. It's time to get back after it and start making some money. So we've played. Now it's time to pay.
Just to set the record straight there, that truck there you're running in right there, that'll be that's not one of those take them out, shine them up, put them on display trucks there, is it?
No, sir. This one is on the way home. After we get home from this show, we gotta stop by the shop and make a few adjustments on some things, and she's gonna go out and get in the dirt patch and work right next to the other trucks we got sitting in the stable. She's not a trailer queen. She's gonna earn her keep just like the rest of them.
Well, Doug, it's been a pleasure riding alongside you, getting to learn a little bit more about J&L and about yourself and everything else there. I appreciate you spending some time with me.
Yes, sir. Definitely been a pleasure. Hopefully we'll see some more throughout the year this year, and maybe we can get together and make some more fun times.
Cool, sounds good. All right there, Doug. You guys be safe getting back there to Missouri.
All right, 10-4. You guys be careful and enjoy.